So we had Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, and now we have a thug in the White House.
You got a problem with that? Sounds like an improvement. Take a look at this bull and his red ball. Look at him play with that ball. He's having so much fun. Probably more fun than any bull has had in its life. He loves that ball. He'll go anywhere with it. It brings him so much joy. So much joy, that ball and that bull together. They're inseparable. Look at them. They just go everywhere together. No bull has ever been as ecstatic over a ball and its luck. He punctured his ball. The bull has lost his ball. Look how sad he looks. Look how sad. He's heartbroken. I wonder how CNN feels about this sad bull if the bull were Trump. Or how does MSNBC feel about this sad bull if he were Trump? How would the New York Times feel about this sad bull if it were Trump? I'll be honest, I just wanted to use the tape of the bull. But it's true, for the media to feel good, something must feel bad. So for them, this week was like Christmas and spring break combined. The parents were out of town in Hanoi, which meant they could throw a kegger in D.C. And Michael Cohen would be their stripper, jumping out of a cake into the arms, and then prison. True to form, the consensus press sees a gibbering rat as breaking news, while a process that might prevent nuclear war, that's a joke. And boy, did bad news make them feel so good.
He is leaving for a second time without a substantive nuclear agreement.
Now he's running up against sort of real-world international realities, and he can't close the deal.
A very rough and rocky 24 hours of the president, humbled back in Washington, humbled here in Hanoi, heading back to Washington empty-handed.
So first they spend a week saying the president is going to give up too much, and then they whine when he didn't give away a thing. If I wasn't so high right now, I would say that they are biased. Now look, we all want world peace, but walking away is part of negotiating. But the media sees just one moment as the whole thing because they hate the guy doing the deal. Now, if you believe we already gave up a lot just with a meeting, then, well, who needs dialogue at all? Just bomb everyone. Why waste time? The downside, yeah, millions die. But the upside, none of these pesky meetings with people we don't like. It's weird, so many pacifists rejecting dialogue, even when there's proof that Trump's words actually did make the world safer. Do you remember Hawaii last year? People were freaking out as bureaucrats in Hawaiian shirts were trying to figure out their computer password. Hint, it's I'm a jackass. But the media needed this North Korea thing to fail because bad news is their drug, and the drug supply is low. Look at the economy, jobs, peace. It's pretty good. So the media willed North Korea to fail. They made it so that if Trump had appeared to make any deal, it would be seen as a concession. So, did the media actually work against world peace? I mean, that's crazy, right? Yeah! He makes a strong case. Meanwhile, the media saw Michael Cohen as story shuffleboard, a slimy tale to knock the summit off the front page, and Cohen obliged, delivering the drugs the media drools over.
He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
How original. I think Kathy Griffin has that tattooed on her back. But the media ate it up, and they crawled up Cohen's rear like an intoxicated earwig.
We're seeing a humbled Michael Cohen before this committee today. A lot of the anecdotes, a lot of the personal anecdotes have the ring of truth.
In Michael Cohen's closing statement, where he said what he fears for the country.
I was really proud of this guy up there because he's had the world against him.
Do you know why he's proud of this guy? These cheese balls are actually close friends. Both strike me as men who wear Speedos to breakfast. what a cheeseball does. But since Cohen offered no collusion, the media was left with real estate evaluation.
Here's the president's lawyer saying, yeah, we inflated the assets in order to get banks to do stuff for us.
Holy crap! The rich guy, he inflated assets. That sounds vaguely Kardashian. Thank you. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's pathetic. It was a pathetic joke, but I'll take it. But I feel for the media. They need more wrongdoing. So here's three bad things Donald Trump did that you should report on. 1, Donald Trump once laundered money. Yep, he left a 20 in his suit when it went to the cleaners. 2, Donald Trump once shot a man. A dirty look for being rude to a nun at church. 3, Donald Trump once beat his child at Yahtzee. Maybe those will soothe the wounds of 2016. After all, that's all the news is these days. Drugs to reverse the pain of an election. No deal with Kim Jong-un? Take that, 2016. Cohen calls Trump a racist? Take that, 2016. But it's sad. Kavanaugh, Covington, Smollett. Each one was supposed to be that drug that would make them feel better. Didn't work, which is why Cohen's hearing mattered so much.
I fear that if he loses the election in 2020, that there will never be a peaceful transition of power.
Ah, well, lucky for you, Cohen, you'll be safe in prison. By the way, yeah, I'll take it. By the way, Stormy Daniels actually sent Cohen a note saying, I'm proud of you. At least she can be proud of something. That film, Revenge of the I can tell you, it did not please her mother. I saw it 3 times. It was disgusting. I'm going to keep saying it because I got to beep it. All right, so that hearing was like a binge of greasy junk food. It goes in and it goes out and you feel gross afterward. But that's the media's diet. All bad, no good. No roughage. If only there were a drug for that.
Do you find yourself rooting against the country's best interests just because you don't like the president?
He may try to distract. He may make a bad decision with Kim Jong-un because he's trying to distract from Cohen's testimony.
This can't be happening. North Korea's got nukes. Trump's going to give away the store.
Sounds like you want this summit to fail. You realize if it does, we're back to square one.
That's exactly what I want, doesn't everybody?
Maybe you should try Optimex.
What's that?
It's a simple 1-a-day pill that shoots directly to the brain in seconds, instantly clearing your desires for wanting something to fail. The result? You're more willing to envision positive outcomes for any situation, even if you don't like the person.
I've never met my ex-wife's new boyfriend, Chaz, but judging from the pictures she posts, he just looks like a But then I discovered Optimex. Now I can see he does make her happy, and she's happy. Why should that bother me? Thanks, Optimex. Thank you, Chaz.
When my coworker Barbara got promoted instead of me, I would go to church every day and pray to God that she would get hit by a bus. But then I took Optimex, and I saw that the company stock was up, and that's good for all of us. Maybe she did deserve that promotion and was more qualified. Thanks, Optimex. And thank you, God, for not answering my prayers about Barbara.
The poor Senate when he gratuitously...
Wow, they're wrong. Eliminating a nuclear threat and ending the Korean War, that would be a good thing. Thanks, Optimex.
You bet. Just remember, you shouldn't take it with coffee. So get Optimex today. Side effects include clear vision, grasping reality, and not being such a freaking buzzkill.
Nice. Let us welcome tonight's guest. She's so bubbly, champagne drinks her on New Year's Eve. Attorney and Fox News contributor Emily Compagno. He's like a teddy bear stuffed with giggles and peyote. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. Her idea of a good time is a bad time. Host of the Tyrus and Timp podcast, Catherine Timp. And he once tripped over a pyramid. Former WWE superstar, massive sidekick, host of UnPC and Fox Nation, Tyrus. I'm going to make an audacious comment. I believe the media deliberately prevented world peace. Am I wrong to say that?
Do you want to explain a little further?
Nope, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, look, here's how I feel about the summit. You know, in matters of foreign policy and national security, I listen to foreign policy advisors and those in the military. I don't listen to Jim Acosta, who printed that there was not even the symbolism of a concession over there, and therefore it failed. When wasn't the summit itself a success by even happening? We had a dictator who said, when asked if he would be willing to denuclearize, he said, I wouldn't be here if I didn't, if I wasn't interested in that, if I wasn't open to that. And so for everyone saying, oh, the president just wanted this to be an episode of The Apprentice and get it done in one fell swoop, shouldn't they be applauding that it is a long process that takes investment and every step at a time should be applauded because it's all of us who benefit in the long run?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what Emily just said. Even though yeah, I was fishing for applause. Joe, what were you paying attention to most? Cohen or North Korea?
North Korea. Cohen is useless. At this point, I think if Trump cured cancer, CNN would say, oncologist driven out of work. They're not going to give him credit for anything.
Nice.
This was a guy he was calling Little Rocket Man not too long ago.
Yes.
And he sat down with him, and we're looking, if he can end this North Korean war, which is a 70-year-old conflict, this will be one of the greatest triumphs for peace and for human rights that we've seen. It may be one of the greatest of all time. If he pulls that off, give him the Nobel Prize. He will have earned it.
Yeah.
You know, and they to want this to fail, I don't know if they're pitching a script for a MASH reboot. I don't know why you wouldn't want Kim Jong-un. If you can put some cracks in that regime, the more cracks you put in it, the more likely the whole thing is going to break apart. And that would mean liberation for people who've been really suffering. And who, they don't even know what the rest of the world is like. And that's an opinion I ran past Michael Malice, so I may know what I'm talking about.
Yes. You know, if Donald Trump helps end the Korean War, they'll say he killed a 70-year-old. Katz, would you like to talk about the Cohen scandal, or would you like to talk about North Korea, or would you like to mesh them together?
I personally am quite a fan, I must say. I mean, I understand that Trump broke their hearts when he won the election, and that when someone breaks your heart, you don't want to see them do well. Like, when it rains, I'm always like, bummer, it's raining. But before I think that, I think, I hope my ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend forgot her umbrella. I'm very petty. But when it comes to matters of not getting blown up, that's always going to be more important to me than whatever petty grudge that I have. And again, I don't know. So maybe they just don't quite understand that when someone says we might get bombed, there's an implied, and that is bad.
Yes, yes. That threat has de-escalated because of this. That's got to be good.
It is good. The embarrassment is, and you're given, the media deserves a lot of credit for bad judgment and embarrassing behavior, but you got to pull Congress in there too.
Yeah.
What they did during something as important as the summit, to have Cohen come out, that's the day you need to have testimony?
Yeah.
This is literally why you don't bring your kids with you to work. Daddy's trying to make a deal. So, no talking. Okay, you want nukes, you want to lose. But, please, I'm trying, Daddy's trying.
So true.
And I make jokes, but the embarrassment, the world embarrassment, that's what America was about. Instead of, all stories should have been on that summit. He could have waited till Monday.
Yeah, exactly. There
was nothing we didn't hear that we couldn't have waited till Monday. But one, you had to take the moment away from him. Two, you had to cause such a distraction. They always accuse the Congress and the media always accuses the president of distracting.
Right.
They distracted so much. My gut feeling is that's why the summit was ended.
Yeah.
Because here's another thing. You're trying to negotiate big issues. North Korea watches the same crap that most Americans do, and they're like, do we really need to follow all this stuff? We could just wait.
Yeah.
We could just wait this out. Like, the embarrassment of it was the fact that you did a good job.
Yeah. No,
you embarrassed America, and that's why you leave your kids at home.
He might not last, so what are we doing here? The other thing, too, is I mean, Trump is then thinking, if he makes any deals, they were going to portray it as a concession, so he can't make a deal. So that means that they've definitely hindered some kind of progress. It's actually kind of gross in a way.
Well, for me as a citizen and a constituent, I don't care about the what ifs. I care about the actual evidence, which it seems like that Cohen, is a big distraction and everything is a what if. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Donald Trump might have been a shady businessman. No!
Yep. And he had lousy grades. He slept with a porn star. Everybody in New York sleeps with porn stars. All right. The Gutfeld Monologues Live is back. We'll be in Washington, D.C. and Detroit in April, and in Oklahoma and Texas. Special guest Tom Shalhoub. Tickets for those shows still available. Go to gutfeld.com for ticket information. Now up next, how do you raise $93 trillion for the Green New Deal? We got some ideas that'll blow your mind. Next. It's the deal that'll make you keel. A new report estimates the Green New Deal would cost $91 trillion. To put that in perspective, that's a load of money. Over $600,000 per household. Affordable? Not really. But why should that stop us? Right? People who use kids to fight their battles for them?
Some scientists have said that we have 12 years to turn this around.
Well, it's not going to get turned around in 10 years.
That's a predicament. What politician's going to turn down a kid while a camera's rolling? Who's going to look them in the eye and say, because there's no way to pay for it?
Because there's no way to pay for it. I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. You come in here and you say it has to be my way or the highway. I don't respond to that. So, maybe people should listen a little bit.
Oh, wow, that was refreshing. It would have been better if she had them all arrested. That's what I would have done. But maybe they know that money doesn't grow on trees. I coined that phrase a few years ago. And if you want something really big, you got to make sure you can pay for it. How do you raise $93 trillion? By making some tough choices.
Attention all Americans, get your wallet ready for the planet-friendly, coal-busting, air-cleaning, higher-educating, bullet-train building Green New Deal. It's the blowhard progressive's vision for the future, so it must be a good idea. With an estimated $93 trillion price tag, it'll only cost quintuple last year's entire GDP. What a deal! To pay for it, all we have to do is follow these simple steps. Tax taxes, then put taxes on those taxes. Dissolve the military. Give every citizen a rock for protection, then tax those rocks. Tax the rich, tax the middle class, tax the poor. Make babies pay taxes while still in the womb. Import nothing, export dirt. Search all mattresses. Make toilet paper out of clothes. Make clothes out of toilet paper. Take your kids' lunch money. Tax breathing. Bigger butts for bigger breasts. Make grandma pay to gossip about her daughter-in-law. Make sleeping illegal so you have more time to make the government money. Sell San Francisco. Rent out Rhode Island. Auction Austin, Texas. And make the Statue of Liberty work, maybe in retail. Because our freeloading days are over. It's the planet-friendly, coal-busting, air-cleaning, higher-educating, bullet-train building Green New Deal.
Little slow. Joe, is this just a fantastic dream or just pure insanity?
I am in love with Gangsta Diane. to see their crestfallen little faces was so delicious. Yes. Because not only are we seeing legislation that's being promoted by children, it actually looks like it was written by children. Because it sounds like a child who popped a bunch of Adderall and then sat on Santa's lap and then got on a roll with what they were asking for. Yes. It said, no, I want a pony, and I want a PlayStation, and I want to go to Disney. And if you look at it, there's no way this stuff isn't going to break every possible bank. Yeah. And you see how intersectionality makes things untenable. Because you can always say, well, what's the effect of curly light bulbs on transgendered athletes? And how do gluten-free school lunches affect? It's like you're not going to get anything done with this nonsense.
No, and that's the beauty of it. You know, I would have been great if she had ended her tirade on the kids with some hard facts about Santa and the Easter Bunny. And she said, before I go, that fat guy in the red suits? I'm not going to finish it because there's probably some kids here, Kat. That's, you know.
I would like if they brought in just a door frame for her to slam in their faces.
Kat?
I just think AOC has completely lost her marbles. I think she's living in banana land. Earlier this week, she called herself the boss for coming up with the Green New Deal. How are you the boss for coming up with a plan that doesn't work?
Yes.
Like, are you sure that the Green New Deal's not like what you're putting in your pipe and smoking every day? I don't understand. I can come up with plenty of plans that don't work. How about we fly around on unicorns instead of airplanes? How about instead of gasoline, we use fairy dust we get from Tinkerbell? How about we get Harry Potter to come over and wizard away all the emissions from the cow fart she's so concerned about? See, I just came up with 3 plans that don't work. Does that make me the triple boss? I mean, what is she? Does she want us to just completely do away with all modern technology? Like, I don't want to live like Laura Ingalls Wilder, Greg. I don't want to do my laundry in a basin. I don't want to eat only lettuce and carrots like some kind of little bunny. To relive the Donner Party in the modern day because I had to take a horse and buggy to see my grandparents instead of a plane. I don't want to eat people, Greg, and I don't want people to eat me. AOC, do you want people to eat you? No, then stop proposing.
I think you turned a new shade of red.
My veins always pop out when I get angry.
I know. It's pretty incredible.
You know, one of these days, she's just going to fall over.
Yes, exactly. You know, the problems with renewable energy is they're like the employee that may not show up for work because you need the sun and you need the wind, and they're not always working. They're not always working.
Not just that, it's going to take about 20 years to raise that money.
Yeah.
And we only got 12. So, you know what, to go back to, I love what Feinstein did. That's why you leave your kids in the car. I believe I mentioned that earlier. Like, the teacher thought she was so clever, and she didn't realize she was dealing. There's a Feinstein in every corner in every neighborhood. You don't go on her lawn for that reason.
Yes.
You don't trick or treat on her doorstep.
No.
You don't.
If the frisbee ends up on her roof,
it's mine now. It's mine.
It's yes.
Yeah.
You never get the ball back.
lecture. And she just got all the dirt on your parents.
Yes.
They weren't married when they had you. That's who she is. So, you know what? I don't agree with any of her policies, but I like her gangster style.
No, that was too bad she wasn't like that with her fellow Democrats in the Kavanaugh hearing.
You know what? Maybe behind scenes she is.
Yeah, that could be true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why they protest her outside her office. No one goes in that office.
Yeah. Emily, I always think that when I see these deals, it's like the example of the half a car analogy. Libs, the left are great at a half a car. They can come up with the shiny chassis, the shiny surface, no engine, no transmission, no fuel efficacy. It's just, that's for somebody else.
Totally. And literally this week, was it, or last week, when Representative Jayapal put forth her Medicare for All bill, and literally to the question of, so how are we going to pay for this? She was like, we don't need to answer that right now. Like, that's not important. And it's mind-boggling how it isn't. When you break down that, I mean, obviously there's just a million things wrong with that New Deal.
Kat covered that.
Yes. But the specifics that for these, living wages for all costs every individual household almost $300,000.
Yeah.
Or a little over $300,000. And the Hope Diamond of healthcare is over $250,000 per household. How is that in any way acceptable?
There is one answer. Nuclear power.
Yeah.
That's what the answer. Should women be drafted into the military? We discuss this cautiously after the break.
Live from America's News headquarters, I'm Aisha Hasni. The U.S. and South Korea are eliminating their large-scale springtime military exercise. Instead, the two will hold smaller exercises. It's all part of efforts aimed at resolving the North Korea nuclear situation by diplomacy. The two allies agreeing to maintain a military readiness should tensions increase after talks fell through at the U.S.-North Korea summit. President Trump has already questioned the usefulness and expense of these exercises. Yellow-vested demonstrators protesting for a 16th straight weekend in Paris and a number of other French cities. The protest started in November because of opposition to fuel tax hikes, but they've since spread into a broader protest of the French president's economic policies. I'm Aisha Hasni. Now back to the Greg Gutfeld Show.
Have American men been shafted for being the only ones drafted? A federal judge has ruled it unconstitutional for the military to draft only men. The decision comes after the National Coalition for Men, or NGOM, argued that an all-male draft violates the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. Now, the ruling doesn't order the government to change the draft rules. It just leaves us with some unanswered questions, like, will women have to register with the Selective Service System when they turn 18? Or should we get rid of the draft altogether? You know, easy stuff. I'm sure we as a nation will totally agree on a solution, because that's what we're doing, huh? Or maybe the issue will be moot. Not sure what that even means, because we'll be fighting the next war this way. Kat, are you thrilled about possibly being drafted?
Based on the fact that I get a lot of anxiety from having to choose my own toppings at a build-your-own salad bar,
Yeah.
I feel like I should not be going to war. I've never done a successful push-up.
Yeah.
The last time I was on a treadmill, I had to vape on it. So based on all that, I feel like I'm not really cut out to serve our country in that way. So I like to serve our country in other ways.
How?
I use American flag emojis a lot.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Even when it doesn't really make sense for the text message.
Yes, that's great.
So I'm a patriot.
All
Let's
right.
be clear.
To the other woman on this panel, Emily, I have a feeling this is irrelevant. Because at a certain point, almost all of the fighting is going to be done by our friendly robots and drones, right?
Yeah, I mean, you like to say that a lot. I don't, sure. I mean, yes, we're
That was a diplomatic way of saying I'm weird.
But I will say, I think what annoyed me about this court case so much is that our tax dollars pay for it in part because it went through the federal circuit, and then also the fact that the underlying argument, other than it was that now that women can serve in combat, it obviates that argument that they shouldn't be drafted, was basically that whiny group of guys, they said they wanted the women to be subjected to the same ramifications they dodged the draft as if we do.
Right.
It's just so ridiculous to me. It just wastes everyone's time, and correct, it doesn't have a bearing on the actual justice system permanently.
Yeah. You know, it is, Tyrus, that men's rights kind of, you know, they're trying to make a point, but at the same time, it's like we're okay. We're kind of okay with the way it is.
At the guy meeting, I'm pretty sure I was outside shooting hoop when they were talking about this stuff. Listen, I'm all for equal rights and stuff, and I think talking about the draft is a real issue. When was the last one? 60?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's...
And we have so many volunteers now for the Army, and we have so many... I think there's a waiting list to join the armed forces, so I think a draft is pretty safe not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think we're in the clear.
Unless aliens. Unless space aliens. If we are attacked by space aliens.
Yeah, I know. And if munchkins come out the ground, start eating short people, like we'll all band together and try to save them. It's not the point, Greg. I'm just saying, but when I look at my kids...
You read my diary.
I would not be in this chair.
Yes.
I would be in a hospital rocking back and forth with stone right here. When I look at my kids, if the draft was on both sides, I think my 4-year-old daughter would be a better candidate than my 7-year-old son. She's vicious, got a mean streak, takes no prisoners, not afraid to kill you to death when she's playing with her dolls. So I think it's based on the individual. I think women should have the right, but at the same time, I don't think it's something that a men's group should be like,
Yeah, it's not like a victory you brag about to your girlfriend.
It's like saying,
I just got you drafted.
They don't have girlfriends.
We'll all get drafted now, all of us.
You know, the thing is, Joe, well, let me ask your opinion, and then I want to just overload you with my opinion.
Okay, well, you know, we've got maybe women getting drafted and men wearing dresses at the Oscars, so it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, it's
really
true.
Is. Yeah. Like a lot of these men's rights promotion, these activities they do, I feel like they come to a conclusion, and I think you guys should have stopped talking about 10 minutes prior to this, because I was with you until then. I think it's great. Because no one should be worried, because we've seen that the young people of today, men and women, they're so out of shape they're not going to get drafted anyway. They can't survive. They're going to survive war. They can't survive peanut butter and a Ben Shapiro lecture without having to freak out. They got nothing to worry about.
Up next, face tattoos. That and other stories Chris Wallace refused to do. Next.
front of a 19-inch RCA Victor television. One more day to Labor Day weekend, the traditional occasion for tasty outdoor barbecues or picnics.
Agree with all the obstacles and with all the enemies who are between me and
Times Square, 42nd Street. Transfer is available. 1